Yo, what's up, my peeps out there in the digital space? It is Friday, last day of the week. For those who are working a 9 to 5 like myself, um, we are here and the weekend is right behind us, all right? So hang in there for another 3, 4 more hours or what have you, and then you'll get to enjoy your weekend. All right. For those who do not know me, let me go ahead and get get my intro out of the way, and we're gonna get into this topic about this deferred income tax. This is going to be an update to what I put out there on about last week about this deferment taxes, income tax from your paycheck. But I got an update to that. This recently just came out on day before yesterday. All right. So intro. For those who do not know me, my name is Cedric Jenkins, founder and creator of Your Money Matters. Your money matters because of the fact we get up each and every day to earn it. You have a God-given right to keep it. Hey, Sandra. Hey. Who else is that? Oh, I can't even see. Miss Turner, Dr. Turner, how you doing? All right. Peace and blessing to everybody who jump on here live or may see this in recording. So let's talk about it, all right? Let's talk about it. Last week, I talked about deferred income taxes from your payroll check for federal employees, all right? And not to recap the whole entire video, but basically there was a bill that was signed and passed that for federal employees, to whereas from September 18th, which is the second check that we're going to get, because I'm a federal employee too, so I include myself, for the second second check in September all the way up until December, federal income taxes, I haven't seen anything about state income taxes, but federal income taxes is going to be deferred from your paycheck. All right. Federal income taxes, if you're a federal employee, whether you are a civilian or military, federal income taxes is going to be deferred from your paycheck. Now, what does that mean? That simply means your paycheck is going to increase because of the deferment of your income taxes, of the income tax. All right. They're not going to take income taxes from your paycheck, federal employees and military. Now, here's the thing about us federal employees. We don't have the option to opt out. All right? It's been made mandatory for all military and government civilians to participate. All right? So, one, this means you're going to get more money into your paycheck. All right? Consequently, starting January of 2021, there is a mandate for us to pay that deferment back. Listen what I'm saying. They're going to defer it, which means they ain't going to take no money out of your biweekly paycheck, federal employees and military. All right? It's mandatory. It's mandatory. We can't opt out. All right? From September all the way up to December. Starting January 2021, I do not know, I have not seen anything as of yet as to how the repayment, how the federal government is going to make us pay it back, but we're going to have to pay it back. The whole goal behind this is to take and we're going to have to pay back double, all right? The whole goal is to put more funds back into the Social Security fund. All right. Social Security, ladies and gentlemen, is drying up. It's drying up. Pre-COVID-19, I've talked about this plenty of times. All right. That financial experts had already predicted that Social Security was gonna go away or be non-existent come 2030. All right. Now fast forward to where we are right now. When you have millions and millions of people who are not working, that means that's millions and millions of people who are not contributing to Social Security, because in addition to state and federal income taxes, FICA, Social Security, Medicare are pre-taxed or taken out of your paycheck. All right. This is all the stuff that comes out of your gross pay before you get your take-home pay. Social Security is one of them. So with millions of people out of work, that means now Social Security is drying up even faster. So the government is trying to find ways of trying to fund Social Security. They're no longer at the point to where they can print more money. And I've talked about this, about printing money. Each time the government print money, because we tend to think, yeah, the government got it. No, the government don't have it. All right? The government don't have it. If the government have it, then the government wouldn't be in $1 trillion deficit. Every time they print money, they owe somebody. And it devalues the dollar. Here comes inflation. All right? All that is passed down to who? The taxpayers. All of this is on the taxpayers' back. That $1 trillion debt, guess who's paying it back? It's supposed to be ultimately responsibility of paying that debt back is the federal government. But see, the federal government has an agreement with the central banking system to say, we're gonna get the taxpayers to pay it back. But who gets the bailout? It ain't the taxpayers. It ain't the taxpayers. So for federal employees and military, that's mandatory. Now here's the update. Here's an update. I recently found out that this is also for private sector. Okay? So those who are not working in the public sector capacity, working for federal or state government. Now this is going out to everybody. But see, in the private sector, is not mandatory. You can opt in or you can opt out. For those who are working for the banking industry or whatever, anything outside of the federal government, you have the option to opt in or opt out. All right, that's the update. That's an update. Private sector, you can opt out. Public sector, is mandatory. Now, I'm gonna go back and mention something that I talked about in the last video, as far as, okay, you're gonna get that extra money in your paycheck. All right, what should you do with it? All right, what should you do with it? I encourage that you take that extra paycheck and do something smart with it. Set it aside in a savings account, because they're going to come back to you later. All right? You're going to have to pay it back. Think about it. A deferment typically means something that you're going to have to pay back. Just like when they say we're going to defer your rent or your monthly mortgage due to COVID-19. But then when the economy starts going back, now the bank is saying, okay, yes, you deferred it, but now it's time. It's due time. And oh yeah, by the way, you don't only owe for the deferment, but you also owe penalties and interest. That's going to be the same thing that's going to happen with this deferment on this income taxes. So what I would suggest, that at a bare minimum, put that extra, whatever that extra bi-weekly cash flow that you're going to get in your paycheck, put it aside in your savings account. So that way you can be able to pay your tax bill when it comes due. Second thing that you can do is put it in something that's going to draw interest. All right, such as a municipal bond. All right, mutual fund, stock, something that's going to grow with inflation to where it appreciates. Anything, an asset, anything that appreciate puts more money into your pocket. All right? It puts more money into your pocket. Plus, an asset is taxed less. All right? It's taxed less. So you get a tax savings in addition to additional tax earnings. That's strategic thinking. That's strategic thinking right there. I'm trying to get my folks to think strategically instead of with just what we know and learn. This is a chess game out here, ladies and gentlemen. These folks ain't playing with you all out here. While we around here trying to make checker moves, you got other folks making chess moves. Always know 3 moves before you make your first move. That's in the game called chess. You never want to make your first move unless you know your first 3 moves. All right? So, put your money in savings. That's one option. Put your money in an asset where it grows or it appreciates. That's another option. Another thing that you can do is own a business. Okay? Own a business. Why? Because what happens is a business allows you to tap into some deductions that you're not able to tap into currently just as a wage income earner. All right? So what does deduction do? Well, let's put it to you like this. Let's say that you earned $50,000 in wages from a job. All right? If you don't have any more deductions outside your standard deductions, then you're going to be taxed on that $50,000. Every penny of it, which means you probably have a tax bill at the end of the year. But let's say that you had $25,000 of deductions, all right, that you was able to tap into because you're a business owner, all right? Instead of being taxed at $50,000, you're only going to be taxed on $25,000 because the government, the IRS, is going to take the $25,000 that you got in itemized deductions from your business, subtract it from your total wages, which is $50,000, which gives you a difference of $25,000. All right? This allows you to lower your taxable income. Now, why is that important? Because for those who are getting deferment, like myself as a business owner, but I'm gonna tell you the pimp game that I've been doing for 7 years, and that is business ownership. But I'm gonna show you something. As my granddad say, I'm gonna learn you something. All right? You put yourself in a lower tax liability, right? And anytime you put yourself in a lower tax liability, you give yourself tax savings. All right? So for those who are a wage income earner, okay, and you want to absorb all of your money the extra money that you're getting bi-weekly, you need a vehicle to lower your tax liability so you can keep that money, because your vehicle is going to allow you to lower your tax liability so that you can get tax savings at the end of the year when you file your taxes. You see what I'm saying? So now you don't have that headache of worrying and trying to pay it back, because you already position yourself within the tax system. All right? You're leveraging the tax system that you wasn't able to leverage before, to where now you can keep all your cookies as a wage income earner. All right? And you can take the extra money and you still do right with that extra money now. That doesn't mean that you have license to go spend it. Yeah, you grown, that's your money. You do what you want to do with your money. But I'm here to tell you, we're in rough times. Money is not coming very easily. People, you got millions of people out of work. We don't know when these jobs are coming back. So you need to do right with that money. Please, ma'am, please, sir, kings and queens, do right with that money, that extra money that you're going to get, if you're in the position to get extra money. Because, see, we still got millions of people who are not working. So, first of all, be grateful that you still have a job for those who are still getting a paycheck. Okay? So for me, a deferment on my income taxes is not a big deal. Why? Because I've been a business owner now for 7 years, and I've already used a vehicle to defer my income taxes already. So it's not too much more that they can defer for my federal income taxes. I've already been keeping my cookies long before now. So for me, I'm not impacted by it because I'm already using something to defer my income taxes because I'm able to lower my tax liability. Okay? I've always been able to lower my tax liability because of the fact I use this thing called ownership. Anytime you have ownership in an asset, all right, now the federal government looks at you differently. It's probably not fair, and I was saying that before, but now that I'm a business owner, I understand it because we live in a society that thrives around capitalism, and those who are capitalists, they get a different set of rules because they put on a different jersey. See, we can't complain about authority. We have to go and demand authority. See, we can't complain our way up the ladder. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. But when you understand the rules of the game and then you start participating in the rules, in the game with the new rules, you get looked at differently. You get treated differently. It's unfortunate, but that's how this system works. And if we continue to keep fighting against it, we're gonna continue to get what we're getting for the next 100, 200, 400 years. Learn the system. The system can work in your favor if you make the conscious decision to say, let me learn and understand the system and how it can work in my favor. But here's what we're going to do, us as black folks. We're going to try to outwork the system. Y'all just don't know. The system is systematic and is more intelligent than the human being. The system is centered around governmental policies. So you have to, believe it or not, the governmental policies is what's taking your money or keeping you from building wealth. But believe this, the same governmental policy that's keeping you from building wealth can put you in a position to build wealth. You just have to learn it in order for you to use it, or shall I say leverage it. But most of us don't want to do it. See, what we're looking for is a microwave approach. We're looking for the lottery ticket. What's the next best shiny thing that can put more money back into my pocket? Some of us just want to just make the money or make money just to get by. That's not thriving. You just living for today, or what have you. Let me just make this money right now. We got to think long term. We got to start learning to think long term. I'm just gonna be quite frank with y'all. I love my black people. That's why I'm very direct. I don't sugarcoat nothing, and probably that doesn't resonate with a lot of people for me being direct. But I'm just gonna say this: white folks understand it. They play the long game. They understand it. Hence why they're able to pass it down to their next generation, and then their children and their grandchildren are already 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of us financially. Now, yes, are we up against some challenges? Hell yeah, we are. We most definitely are. We most definitely are. We know we got racial barriers that we got to overcome. Most definitely. Absolutely. And it doesn't give them the right, or it doesn't give them the license for them to treat us that way. All right? But let's call it what it is. We know that's there. Now that we know that it's there, let's learn how we can maneuver around it, because there's so much marching and protesting that we can do. All right, that's not going to change any governmental policy that we have that's working against us. I'm going inside now because it's a little warm out here. That's not going to change anything in our governmental policy by marching and protesting. Can anyone point to me when was the last time a demonstration, a march, or a protest that changed a governmental policy that affected everyone who benefited from it? It's a start to bring some awareness, but the end game is to put people in place to where they start talking about the agenda and the needs to the agenda to meet the people's need. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Give me a second here. Got a little warm out there. So, a deferment in taxes, that's not new for me. I've been doing that for 7 years. And that's because of the fact I'm a business owner. And anytime you're a business owner, you can tap into a tax law to where you can defer your income taxes each and every paycheck. But I've been preaching this for so long, but yet we tend to think information is slow money. Now, information is the long-term money. Because at the end of the day, we ain't trying to look for no fast money. See, we looking for anything that's fast doesn't last long. Anything that's fast, it doesn't last long. Somebody show me anything that they earn real fast, or they got anything real fast. It doesn't even necessarily have to be with money. It could be in a relationship, a fast relationship. What did you get from a fast relationship? Anything fast will not last long. We should be here for the long term. All right? We should be here for the long term. We got to get out of the microwave mentality and looking for fast money, the next lottery ticket. We got to change that mentality. All right? So, ladies and gents, that is the update. The update is it is now in the private sector, but what's the difference between the private sector and the public sector is the public sector, which is your government, federal employees, is mandatory for us. We don't have an option to opt out. But for private sector, you have the option to opt out. Okay? So if you want to opt out, then let them continue to take the necessary taxes out of your paycheck, so that way you don't have a tax bill at the end of the year. All right? But for those, let me come back to my federal employees and my military, because we are mandatory. We can't opt out. So here's my thing. I provided a couple of things or solutions that you can do in order for you to not have a huge tax bill at the end of the year. But for those who want to start deferring their income without the government signing a bill, by using a vehicle through business ownership, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to offer. Y'all see me starting in with my brand. Behind my brand, I got a lot of stuff, financial stuff behind my brand. I'm a tax professional, all right? I'm also a credit specialist, all right? I'm a financial educator, all right? I'm also into cryptocurrency, and I do some financial mentoring. So I'm a very busy person, but behind that brand is all centered around helping people financially. Okay? So I have some opportunities behind that brand that can help the average working class member to change their financial situation. All right? Let's not let the government dictate how we earn our money. Because if we let the government continue to dictate how we earn our money, then they will determine our future. All right? They will have the last say so in our future. Shouldn't you have the last say so in your future? I think you should. It's your blood, sweat, and tears that's earning the money, right? Then you should have the last say so, not the government. All right? So for those who are interested in a vehicle or a solution to start your own income tax deferment and not have to pay it back, here's what I want you to do. Inbox me or type below this video, deferment, and I'll send you some information as far as how you can use a solution to where you can start your own income tax deferment on both the federal and the state and still not have to pay it back at the end of the year. You heard what I said. You heard exactly what I said. You can keep most of your cookies, if not all of it, from your paycheck to where the federal government and the state is not eating into your paycheck, because that's the biggest chunk that come out of everybody's paycheck. Today is Friday. You don't have to believe said. Just look at your pay stub today for those who got paid today, and you'll see your gross and your net, and you'll see a huge difference in between. Well, what happened in between is those pre-tax deductions, FICA, Medicare, Social Security, but those are the small ones. But the two bigger ones are the income tax, the federal income tax, and the state income tax. All right, that is your biggest chunk that comes out of everybody's paycheck. Now, wouldn't you like to get that back, absorb that coming back into your biweekly paycheck, and then at the end of the year, put yourself in the position to where you don't have a tax bill and not owe, but instead possibly have a tax refund, but yet still kept all your cookies throughout the year? See, that's that strategy stuff that we teach. See, you're not going to go out there and beat the system by working 2 or 3 jobs or working overtime. What you're doing is you beating yourself down. You're beating yourself down mentally, but also you're beating yourself down physically. All right? You're adding stress to your body. And then at that point you become unhealthy. Then when you become unhealthy, you won't be able to work those overtimes or those 2 or 3 jobs because you're stressed out trying to outwork the system. That's what we've been conditioned to do. But kings and queens, I'm here to tell you, we don't have to try to outwork the system. I'm saying learn the system and leverage the system that you've been working against. I promise you, the same system that's taking money out of your pocket is the same system that can put money back into your pocket. You just have to make the conscious decision to say, let me learn this system, capitalism. Let me position myself within capitalism to where capitalism can put more money back into my pocket. I don't need no stinking government, or I don't need to wait on the stinking government to pass a bill to tell me what to do with my money. We need to learn how to be self-sufficient financially. We should not be dependent upon the government. See, the government wants us to depend on them. So that way, when they dictate stuff, they make us move or dance to their music by passing bills. You see what I'm saying? But when you independent of something, now you dance to your own tune. We should be dancing to our own tune, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not complain about it. Let's do something about it. Complaining doesn't fix nothing. We can try it, we can do it, we can use it as an excuse, but complaining about it ain't gonna fix nothing. All right? So, signing off, this is yours truly, Cedric Jenkins, founder and creator of Your Money Matters. Your money matters because of the fact we get up each and every day to earn it. You have a God-given right to keep it. Keep more of your money. and then not have to pay it back at the end of the year, to me, is a win-win. The question is, do you want to keep more of your money now and not have to worry about paying it back at the end of the year? If that's you, here's your course of action, your call to action, shall I say. Inbox me or type below this video deferment, okay? So that I can show you a solution to where you can start your own income tax deferment solution and not depend on the government, and keep all your money throughout the year, 12 months a year, and then still not have to worry about paying it back at the end of the year. But if you continue to stay where you are right now, okay, you are going to have to pay back double starting January 2021 for those who don't have a vehicle to do so. Yeah, they're going to defer, let's say they're going to defer $250 each pay period. So that's $500. So that's $500 starting September, October, November, December. All right, that's 4 months. All right, so you do the calculation. That's 500 times 4. That's about $2,000, right? So at bare minimum, come January 2021, you're gonna owe back $2,000. Oh, but wait, they said that you're gonna pay back double. So that means you're gonna pay back an extra $2,000, which means you're gonna pay back a total of $4,000 starting January 2021. And if you are late, depending on when they tell you to pay it back, and if you are late, guess what's going to happen? On that $4,000, they're going to add penalties and interest, which is going to drive that amount up. Can you afford to do that? Can you afford to do that? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Can you afford to do that? If not, then you need to seek some advice. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not certified CPA or anything like that. I will tell you, I am a financial alchemist, which means I just take information, learn it, apply it, and share it with others. All right? I'm in the financial education space. I don't have to have no fancy 3 letters in front of my name or behind my name, because I got enough of those in the commercial world already. Okay, but sharing information with other people, I don't need to be certified. Do you need to be certified to recommend somebody go see a movie? No, we share information all the time in any subject, right? Melissa is asking, is this a Trump payroll thing? It's a government policy that your president had signed off on. Yes, if you want to call it that. So the question is, can you afford to pay this deferment back? That's the question that most of us should be asking ourselves, who are not in a position to pay it back. Okay? Any questions? Oh, I'm thinking I'm on a webinar. This is a live. I'm thinking I'm taking Q&As now. My bad. But if you have any questions, type them below this video and I'll try to answer them. But just remember, for federal employees, starting next week. Okay, Melissa's asking, is it mandatory? Okay, Melissa, I had mentioned it earlier. It's only mandatory for federal employees and military. Federal civilian employees and military. But for those, this was the update to this video. Is not mandatory for those who are in the private sector. You can opt out if you're in the private sector. All right? It's not mandatory for everybody. It's only mandatory for federal civilian employees and military. Okay? All right. But ladies and gentlemen, let's not wait for the government to dictate our financial moves. I had to learn that, right? I had to learn that. If I can learn it, if this caveman can learn it, anybody can learn it. Trust me. It's not. You don't need to know. You don't have to be a IRS or a tax expert to get your to keep your cookies. You don't. You can just know the bare minimum, and that would change your financial life if you just know the bare minimum. But we're lazy. We have the lazy mentality to not want to learn and take the knowledge and go apply it. Okay, Stacy Jones is asking, is there a tax bracket for this deferment or all? There's not a tax bracket. Stacy, I don't know if you're a federal employee or in a private sector, but again, if you're in a private sector, you can opt out, so that way you don't get affected and let them just tax you the way they've been taxing. But if you in a public sector, the federal employee like myself, you're not gonna be able to opt out. They're gonna take them cookies. Oh, actually, no, excuse me. They're gonna give your cookies back to you. Okay, so you're a federal employee, so you ain't gonna have no options to opt out, which means you're gonna see a pay increase in your paycheck. But what I've been recommending is take the extra money that you're gonna get, set it aside, don't go spend it, okay? Because come January 2021, we're gonna have to pay that back. We're gonna pay it back plus double, okay? We're gonna have to pay it back plus double. I have not seen how they're gonna have us to pay it back. I'm not in tune. I'm just somebody who see information and just share it. So I'm not in tune, or I don't have anybody, boots on ground as far as how they're gonna do it, the interoperabilities of how they're gonna do it. But we're gonna have to pay it back. I don't know how. I don't know if that's gonna be payroll deducted or they're gonna hit us at the end of 2021 with a tax bill. I don't know. But we're gonna have to pay it back. But we're not only paying back what they deferred, we paying back what's been deferred for those 4 months plus an additional of what they deferred. They're gonna double. We're gonna have to pay back double. Okay. Savings it will be and not spend. Savings is one option. Another option, like I mentioned before at the middle of this video, is putting in a asset such as a stock, bond, or mutual fund. Here's why. One, stocks, bonds, mutual funds are tax deferred. Okay? Plus, you get capital gains and dividends, which means your money is working for you based on the market. The market is helping you grow that $4,000 or that $2,000 that you set aside. Okay? And you can take the interest or the capital gains and pay on it. All right? Instead of trying to pay on it out of your pocket. That's another option. The third option that I mentioned is have ownership in a business to where it can lower your tax liability. That's what I did. That's why it's not affecting me. This deferment is not affecting me because I've been deferring my taxes for about 7 years now, because I have a business that gives me deductions that lower my tax liability, which allows me to put more money back into my biweekly paycheck. I'm already putting more money back into my biweekly paycheck. So for me, it's not affecting me. It's not affecting me because I have another. I'm gonna slice myself in half. I'm a wage income earner, and I'm also a business owner. And I leverage the business ownership side to lower my tax liability on this side as a wage income earner. I'm keeping all my cookies all throughout the year. And then I don't have a tax bill at the end of the year because I got itemized deductions that gives me tax savings. And tax savings lower my tax liability, and tax savings show up in what we call a tax refund. Yes, I get to keep all my money throughout the year and I still get a refund check. Where they do that at? If you want to learn how to do that, inbox me with the keyword deferment, or below this video, deferment, and I can show you what I've been doing for 7 years. All right. But if option 3 is not what you want to do, then do those other 2 options. Put it in the savings. Just know that you're going to have to put a little bit more to it because we have to pay back double, or put it in a stock, mutual fund, municipal bond, or what have you. Anything where it's going to draw interest, to where that interest is help your money grow while it's sitting where it is. Savings, you're not gonna, I mean, there's no bank that's gonna give you any kind of interest where you're gonna see that money grow. It's just like putting your money up under the pillow when you put in a savings account. But at least you're not spending it, all right? So if nothing else, put it in the savings and don't spend it. But I highly encourage 2 or 3. 2, put it in an asset such as stocks, municipal bonds, or mutual fund, to where you can take the capital gains and dividends, the interest from it, to help you pay off that bill. Or get a business to where you can absorb all of your money through, for those 4 months, and then not have to worry about paying it back at the end of the year. It's your option. It's your money. You've grown. I can't tell you what to do. It's your household. You know your financial situation. All right. I'm just here to provide information and options to my people, to where you can make an informed decision. All right. Let me jump off of here because I done passed my lunch time. But thanks for y'all who tuned in live, and for those who will watch the replay. If you got any questions, all right, feel free to hit me below this video or inbox me if you want to know more how this is going to affect your income for the next 4 months, or if you want to know information as far as how you can leverage a vehicle or a strategy or solution to where you can start keeping from this point forward, start keeping all of your income, or most of your income, from your paycheck, and still not have a tax bill at the end of the year, because that's the real true game, or the chess move that we all should make. That's the chess move that I've been making for 7 years now, and continue. All right. We'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Remember, stay safe. Adhere to the social distancing and whatnot, because we want to see people come back in 2021, y'all. 2020 has been a trying year. And if we can make it to January 1st, 2021, let's count it all joy. But at the beginning of 2021, if the Lord bless us to see 2021, let's not take our feet off the gas. That is the time for us to really dig in and go to work. All right? It's time to dig in and go to work. We'll holler at y'all later. Y'all be blessed. Peace.